It's another beautiful day at the Autolust YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're already an Autolust family member, thank you. And what's swinging, gang? So on the last couple videos, you have seen that we're finally getting the world's most highly modified BMW X6M, also known as Sasha. Well, you can't see it. Well, you might see it back there. Tuned up and ready to make big loads of power, man. But we also ran into, a little bit of hiccups, and that's her braking system. We're gonna get this behemoth lift up in the back so I can check out the rear calipers, brake lines, and we're gonna swap those brakes back over to where they belong, and we'll swap them over to the side they belong, because these little tiny things don't belong on this car at all. As you can see, the dust shield pretty much swallows them, but I have the correct dust shields for the smaller caliper and rotor. And you might ask why I did that, and that's to get a smaller wheel on the back for a bigger drag radial. And yes, it's all-wheel drive, so a smaller wheel and a bigger drag radial on the back will throw off the all-wheel drive if you don't put the correct size 20-inch drag radial on the front, which every drag radial company makes a matching set for 18 and the 20, so for all-wheel drive, so we're perfectly fine there.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I have good news and I have bad news. This is part of the bad news. So, like I told you guys, even though the calipers were upside down, as you can see, if you notice by looking at the caliper, you will see the bleeder screw located at the bottom of the caliper, and that's incorrect. It's supposed to be at the top. This allows air to be trapped in the top of the caliper and unable to be completely bled out. The rear brakes are perfectly fine. I guess thinking about my front brakes, I thought it was upside down back here. But so we found the problem, and as you can see, don't worry about this stuff. I had a very slight, because from the factory the diff isn't, sometimes it's not sealed all the way correctly, and as you can see here, you see where the sealing isn't pooped out. It's a little spot there that was making it probably dripped one drop like once every day or something, but I didn't want to take it out and reseal it, so I just pretty much gooped it up with this, and it doesn't leak anymore. It's dry as a bone, so it's ugly, but it works. But this is actively dripping, and as you can see here, this is the brake line, and then it goes to a steel brake line, and then it goes up top. And I think, and then once it goes up top over the subframe, it transfers back into a rubber brake line. So I'm thinking that a rubber brake line got chafed or something, or it's just old and it's leaking. So I need to find out. So I need to drop this tray here, and I can't get my regular camera in here, so I'm using the YouTube camera. So yeah, let me get this little cover off to see what we can find. Hopefully it's not bad, but that's a lot of brake fluid for me just now getting here.
A few moments later.
All right, so far this is what I've been able to find. As you can see, it's still actively leaking, and you see it's a drip here, and oh man, it's just dripping. You guys can see on camera how bad it's dripping, but I can't see any drips coming from the lines. Like, this is where the steel brake lines meets the rubber brake line, and it goes right on top of the diff, and you can feel where the actual other connection is on the other side, where this rubber brake line meets the steel brake line again on that side. And I can stick my hand all the way up in there, like I'm gonna show you here, rub it all around, all the way back. Hold on, let me get back. Okay, so now I'm feeling the ends of those brake lines. They're very short on this side, and I'm looking for wetness back here, and my hand is dry. Well, it's a little wet here, so I'm thinking that the connection above the rear diff has come loose, or broken possibly. So the only way to fix that is to get the car up on the lift and drop the rear diff a little to check it out. So this thing is starting to drip horribly too. So as you guys can see by the cell phone footage, this problem is in an area that is not easily accessible. Either the diff is gonna have to be dropped a little bit, you know, or hung down a little bit to be able to reach up in there, or I think that's about the only way to do it, you know, and that's not a good thing to do on the ground. So I'm currently waiting for Omar to return now so we can see if we can get it on the lift. And the lifts are all full with cars that are waiting on parts, you know, so we probably have to push something out and push Sasha in or something like that, because I don't even know if I want to crank her up because it's leaking so freaking bad. Like literally when I took that little shield down, it poured out of it, all brand new brake fluid. So that's what I'm hoping. I don't think it's a damaged line, because those little lines that run above the diff, they're very short. Like I'll show you them here. That's how short those lines is. So the SUVs F15, F16 actually has a 6-piece brake line kit. So for all those guys who are buying the 4-piece kits, you're missing out on a rubber line. So I mean, buy the 6-piece kit. So I'm thinking that, you know, Sasha has ran horribly for almost 6 months with the bad engine ground. So she used to like idle very rough and shake around, and so many things have come loose by her idling like that. Like in the case of one of the brake lines on the passenger side rear, the clip that hold it to the rear spindle or rear whatever it is, the rear assembly back there, actually vibrated out and fell out on the road somewhere. So I'm thank God she idles smoothly now, so I have to buy that clip as well. But I'm thinking up top where the hard line meets the rubber line, it backed itself out over time, and it's probably like backed out enough to pretty much drip. I don't think it's backed all the way out there to be pouring out. I don't know. Brake fluid kind of does, you know, leak out kind of weird, you know, until you put pressure on the brake. So I'm sure it's a problem with those little lines. So I'm gonna see if we can get inside get on the lift today, and hopefully it's something we can fix today. If not, oh well, we gotta wait and see.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so Sasha is back on the ground, gang. I know the way I said that y'all thought she was fixed, but she not. She's still pissing brake fluid, and a lot, might I add. See that big stain down there? Yeah, that's her brake fluid. And the reason she has so much more brake fluid under there than before is because Omar took his little bore cam and went up top, and he confirmed that it's leaking from that spot. He just said he doesn't know if it, you know, came loose by vibration, or it's just loose, or the where the crimp is, it's ruptured or leaking, which that's highly, I don't know if that's a thing that usually happens to this model. At least I never heard of the F15, F16, F85, F86 brake lines leaking from the crimp points. So I think it's just, you know, turned out a little maybe from vibrating, but I'm not even going to chance it. So I reached out to ECS Tuning, which is Turner Motorsports / ECS Tuning, which sponsor Sasha, and I reached out to them about their full brake line kit, because we need to drop the rear diff anyways to even get to those brake lines. So why not just do it while it's dropped? So I'm going to order the full stainless steel kit for that. You know, that's rear brake lines, the little short ones that go up top, and the front ones. That'll make everything, you know, stainless steel, the entire brake line system stainless steel, and we should never have this problem again. You know, hopefully, you know, we'll never have this problem again, because if it's just from vibration issues, which we'll find out, then you could even have that problem with the stainless steel lines if it vibrates loose, you know. But I don't want to put, I probably put a bead of Loctite on every, you know, a blue Loctite on every brake hose, just for any vibration issues. Sasha doesn't have vibration issues anymore anyways, since she no longer idles rough, you know. So let me flip this camera around. So that's pretty much where we are for right now. Let me drop this camera a little bit. So that's pretty much where we are for right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order those up. You know, when they get here, get them put on and re-bleed the brakes. Of course, I'm gonna swap the, you know, the calipers to the right side so that the bleeding nipple is up top instead of down low. You know, that was just my mistake, you know, rushing doing it at home. So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and order those. And until then, I guess Sasha's going into one of the garages here, so she's gonna just chill and relax. And my tuner reached out to me and asked me what's going on because he already sent me a new map update, revision 3, so he's ready to go, and Sasha's not. So, you know, hey, I mean, things happen. So as soon as those brake lines come in, we can get them put on and get a brake bleed, get the brakes bled. And then first thing I'm gonna do is flash the new tune and go for a pull, you know, so we can get this thing on the track, man. And that's even better for me because she'll have an upgraded braking system with better brake feel for those quarter-mile track runs. So I mean, you know, stuff happens. You know, I'm not upset about it. It is what it is. The brake lines needed to be upgraded anyways. So like, share, and subscribe. And Auto Lust out.